one machine, one driver, 100 tons of cabbage per hour. This is not gardening, this is vegetable mining, and it happens every single day on farms you have never heard of. Think about cabbage for a moment. The average person might see a few heads at a grocery store, maybe a row or two in a backyard garden. But in the northern plains of China, cabbage is not a vegetable. It is a crop, an industrial crop, grown on fields so large that you cannot see the end from the starting point. And when it is time to harvest, the machines arrive. They look like nothing else on Earth. Giant orange beasts, riding on massive tires taller than a human being. They move slowly across the fields, but do not let that slowness fool you. Every single minute, these machines are performing a sequence of mechanical operations that would take 100 farm workers an entire morning to complete. The cabbage harvester does not simply cut the vegetable, it attacks the plant from below. A massive blade slides just under the soil surface, severing the root cleanly. At the same time, two spiraling rubber rollers grab the cabbage by its outer leaves and pull it upward, spinning it rapidly. The spinning motion strips away the loose, damaged outer leaves before the cabbage even reaches the conveyor belt. Waste leaves fly backward onto the field, returning nutrients to the soil, and the clean, tight head of cabbage continues its journey up into a waiting crew platform. This happens once every second. 1 second, one cabbage. 60 cabbages per minute. 3,600 cabbages per hour. On the platform, a small crew of workers does what machines still cannot. They make a final trim. They remove any remaining imperfect leaves. They inspect each head as it flies past, and then they place the cabbages onto a second conveyor that runs alongside the harvester, feeding directly into a massive trailer pulled by a tractor. When that trailer is full, which takes approximately 15 minutes, another empty trailer takes its place. The full trailer drives away toward the fieldside packing sheds. This is a continuous ballet of machines and humans moving in perfect rhythm across a sea of green. To understand the scale here, you need to understand the region. The cabbage megafarms of northern China, particularly around the Hebei and Shandong provinces, are not measured in acres. They are measured in thousands of acres. Some operations span more than 10,000 acres of continuous cabbage production. That is an area larger than many cities. And they do not grow one crop per year. They grow two, sometimes three. Each acre produces approximately 20 tons of cabbage. Do the math. A 1,000-acre farm produces 20,000 tons per season. Multiply that by 2 seasons, 40,000 tons per year. All harvested by machines that never get tired, never slow down, never miss a day. But the harvester is only the beginning. Once the trailers reach the fieldside packing shed, the cabbages are unloaded into massive washing channels. Water pours continuously, floating the cabbages forward while mud and debris sink to the bottom. The sound is hypnotic. A constant roar of water and the soft thumping of cabbages bumping against each other as they move. From the wash channel, the cabbages are lifted by a perforated conveyor belt that allows water to drain back into the system. Then they enter the first sorting stage. Human workers stand on both sides of the belt, removing any heads that do not meet quality standards. These rejected cabbages are not wasted. They go to animal feed or to fermentation for biogas production. Nothing in this system is thrown away. The good cabbages continue into a hydro-cooling tunnel. Cold water sprays from every direction, dropping the internal temperature of the cabbage from field warm to near freezing in less than 2 minutes. This is critical. Cabbage continues to respire after harvest. It generates heat. If you do not remove that heat immediately, the vegetable loses crispness, loses sweetness, loses shelf life. The hydro-cooling tunnel solves all of that in 120 seconds. Now the cabbages are clean, cool, and ready for their final destination. Some will go to fresh markets. For those, the packaging line is relatively simple. A semi-automatic bagging machine drops each cabbage into a plastic bag, heat seals it, and sends it down a conveyor toward a waiting refrigerated truck. Those trucks will drive directly to wholesale markets in Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. From field to city in less than 24 hours. But a massive portion of this cabbage harvest goes somewhere else entirely. It goes to kimchi factories. South Korea consumes nearly 2 million tons of cabbage every year for kimchi production. But South Korea does not grow enough cabbage to satisfy that demand. More than half of their kimchi cabbage comes from China, from these exact megafarms, from these exact harvesters. At the kimchi processing factories, the cabbage undergoes a completely different transformation. After washing and trimming, the cabbages are cut in half or quartered, by high-speed rotary blades. Then they enter a salt brine soaking system. Giant stainless steel tanks, each holding 10 tons of cabbage, fill with salt water. The cabbages soak for 6 to 8 hours. The salt draws out moisture, softens the leaves, and begins the fermentation process. After brining, the cabbages pass through 3 fresh water rinse stations to remove excess salt. Then they move to the seasoning line. This is where the magic happens. A paste made from chili powder, garlic, ginger, fish sauce, and dozens of other ingredients is applied to every single leaf. Not by hand, by machine. A rotating drum tumbler with internal spray nozzles coats each cabbage quarter in a perfect, even layer of red paste. Then the real fermentation begins. The seasoned cabbages are packed into large plastic containers and moved into temperature-controlled fermentation rooms. For 2 to 3 weeks, at a precise temperature of 4 degrees Celsius, the cabbage transforms. The sugars convert to lactic acid, the flavors deepen, the texture becomes that perfect kimchi crunch. After fermentation, the kimchi is packaged into everything from small consumer bags to massive 20-kilogram food service containers. It is then loaded onto freezer trucks and shipped back to South Korea, to Japan, to the United States, to Europe. From a Chinese cabbage field to a Korean dinner table in less than 1 month. Let us go back to the machine for a moment, because the cabbage harvester deserves more attention. These machines are built specifically for this crop. You cannot use a grain harvester for cabbage. You cannot use a potato harvester for cabbage. The cabbage harvester is a purpose-built machine that costs approximately $400,000 new. It weighs 15 tons. It has a 200-horsepower diesel engine, and it consumes approximately 8 gallons of fuel per hour of operation. The harvesting width is only 2.5 meters. That seems small, but because the machine works continuously, moving at a steady 3 kilometers per hour, it covers 15 acres in a 10-hour day. 15 acres, at 20 tons per acre. That is 300 tons from a single machine in a single day. One machine, one driver, 300 tons. The operator sits in an air-conditioned cab, surrounded by screens showing camera views of the cutting blade, the leaf-stripping rollers, and the crew platform. He controls the harvest speed, the blade height, and the conveyor belt speed with joysticks similar to a video game controller. But there is nothing playful about what he is doing. He is commanding one of the most efficient vegetable harvesting systems ever invented. At the end of each row, the machine turns around in a space so tight it seems impossible. The rear wheels pivot sharply, the front wheels lift slightly, and the entire 15-ton machine rotates almost on its center point. Then it lowers the blade again and begins the next pass. Row after row, field after field, day after day, the harvest window for cabbage is tight. Once the heads reach full maturity, they must be harvested within 7 to 10 days. If you wait too long, the heads crack open. If you harvest too early, the heads are loose and low weight. The mega farms use satellite imagery and drone surveys to monitor their fields daily. They know exactly which fields are ready, which fields need 2 more days, and which fields they have already harvested. When a field is ready, the harvesters do not stop, from sunrise to sunset, sometimes longer if the weather is threatening. The machines run 12 to 14 hours per day. The crew platforms are staffed in shifts. The trailers run continuously from field to packing shed. The packing sheds operate around the clock. This is not agriculture as most people imagine it. This is industrial logistics applied to living plants. And yet, there is something strangely beautiful about it. Watch the cabbage harvester for a few minutes. The rhythm becomes almost musical. The blade cuts, the rollers spin, the leaves fly backward, the cabbage rises. The worker catches it, trims it, places it on the conveyor. The cycle repeats. Cut, spin, fly, rise, catch, trim, place. Cut, spin, fly, rise, catch, trim, place. Over and over. A mechanical heartbeat of modern food production. The outer leaves raining back onto the field create a green carpet behind the machine. Birds follow the harvester, eating insects and exposed grubs. The soil is left mostly undisturbed, and within 2 weeks, the field will be replanted with the next cabbage crop. The cycle begins again. This is how China became the world's largest cabbage producer. Not through small farms and hand harvesting, through scale, through engineering, through machines like this orange beast that few people have ever seen. In 2022, China produced more than 33 million tons of cabbage. That is roughly 60% of the entire world's cabbage supply. To visualize that number, imagine a line of fully loaded dump trucks, each carrying 20 tons of cabbage. The line would stretch from Beijing to London, and then back again. and then back again a third time. All of that cabbage passed through machines like the ones you have just seen. The final stage of the journey is cold storage and export logistics. At the mega farms, the packing sheds connect directly to massive cold storage warehouses. These warehouses are kept at precisely 1 degree Celsius with 95% humidity. In these conditions, cabbage can be stored for 5 to 6 months without losing quality. This allows the mega farms to supply cabbage all year round, even though the harvest only happens during specific windows. When an export order comes in, forklifts move pallets of cabbage from the cold storage into refrigerated shipping containers. Each container holds 20 pallets. Each pallet holds 50 bags of cabbage. Each bag holds 4 heads. A single shipping container carries 4,000 cabbage heads. A single ship carries 2,000 containers. That is 8 million cabbage heads on a single vessel, crossing the ocean to feed families thousands of kilometers away. None of this would be possible without the harvester, the giant orange machine that sievers, strips, lifts, and delivers, the machine that does the work of 300 people, the machine that turns a living field into a global supply chain. So the next time you eat coleslaw, or stir-fry, or kimchi, or stuffed cabbage rolls, think about where that vegetable came from. Not from a garden, not from a small farm, from a field so large it disappears over the horizon, from a machine so strange it looks like something from another world, from a system so efficient it delivers fresh cabbage from Chinese soil to your local store in less than 1 week. This is not gardening, this is vegetable mining. And it happens every single day, on farms you have never heard of, using machines you have never seen.